we've got here a selection of steel cartridges. This is we've got 3 different varieties here: Ely, Bioammo, and Jockers. These are the new generation, if you like, with biodegradable wads. But I thought probably worth starting the discussion with this. This is my go-to wildfowling load for the last 15 years, probably. It's a game bore 3-inch heavy load of Magnum steel. It's called big black letters, Magnum High Performance.
Yep.
It's a 3-inch cartridge. I shoot it out of the semi-auto.
Yeah.
And I've killed a lot of ducks with this. But I have to admit, in recent years, I've been increasingly concerned about the fact that in there, every time I fire a cartridge, I'm chucking a big piece of plastic out into the estuary.
Yeah.
And coming back from the marsh from time to time, you can see plastic wads on the foreshore, and given not just personal issues, we shouldn't be chucking that stuff out there, but we know how the public scrutiny of the use of plastic has grown massively over the last few years. So that I can shoot in a high performance gun, but I have to take the plastic on. What it is about these cartridges, why is it taken so long for us to get to a place where we haven't got plastic? Do these cartridges work? Take us through this new generation of steel shot.
Yeah, it's been a concern. The plastic wad issue has been a concern for wildfowlers for many years, funnily enough. But it became the plastic in the environment became highlighted with David Attenborough's expose at the end of Blue Planet 2. I think it was Blue Planet 2. And it is an issue, and microplastics in the marine environment especially is an issue. As plastics break down, they don't disappear, they turn into smaller and smaller pieces that then enter the food chain. So, but we, as a wildfowling community, we have been talking about this for some time, so we were never blind to the fact, but we were obliged to use steel because it's mandatory to shoot ducks and geese with steel in the UK. So this is the next generation of products. These have been around now, the Ely Pro Eco Wads have been around for about a year now. I've shot both, the 2 that are currently available, and there are new products coming all the time. This is the important thing. We are only 6 months into this 60-month process.
Absolutely.
Having said that, 10% of the process time is gone, and it's worth remembering that. But these are the first 2 products that were out on the market. They come in 32 gram 5 and 32 gram 3. I've shot both, decoying pigeons, roost shooting pigeons as well as part of my pest control. And the 32 gram 3 kill fantastically well, as long as you give the right, if you experiment, again, back to what we were saying earlier, experimenting with your barrel profile and your choke and the way you shoot. That matters. Some people will say that it's worth, if you're used to a lead cartridge which run at slightly lower velocities, when you're shooting steel because it's running at a slightly higher velocity, it's worth just coming past the front of the target, cutting your lead a bit. It depends on how you see lead. Personally, it worked for me.
Well,
I can say that.
I shot a fair bit of those 2 loads last season, everything from widgeon on the foreshore to woodcock, pheasants and partridges. I'm not as good a shot as you, so I don't notice anything. But when I pointed the gun straight, I'd say stuff. See, it really works. And I think that question, Nana, you'd have been in the same situation. You can stand in a line shooting with people all day, and you tell them at the end of the day you've been shooting with steel, and they wouldn't have had a clue.
No.
They wouldn't have any idea at all.
No.
Challenging some of those myths about the effectiveness of steel, of modern steel, because it has changed.
It has changed.
But what's exciting is that we now
have 2 more brands that have come to the market. We have heard about Bioammo inside the trade for about 7 or 8 years now, and we have been waiting to see what they would come up with. This is the first time I've seen them today. I've had a few shots of them. I like them very much, recoil-wise, because it is a factor. When you're pushing a load out with steel, you have to drive it faster. The recoil, Newton's third law, means that the recoil is going to be more. So, but they're acceptable, recoil-wise. I would be very interested to try them on live quarry, pest control, pigeon shooting, controlling corvids on pig units that I've been doing as well. I will be interested to see that. And Jocker is, again, I mean, their new cardboard shot cup they have here. I shot the first lead versions at a clay ground on Tuesday last. Got on very well with them. I'm looking forward to seeing them in steel as well.
So Jocker is a paper cup.
It's a paper shot cup,
But the Bioammo, we'll come at the case later. The Bioammo is a biodegradable shot cup.
It is, yes.
And the Eco Wad is again a biodegradable, compostable shot cup as well.
It is, yeah.
And that, I mean, if that drops in water, we've done the experiment.
We
you
have.
drop the wad in a cup of water, and in a day you've got a little sort of white mist.
Yes.
Yeah, the bioammo, I assume that the wad would, that composts over time.
We need to find out, you know, it would be interesting for us to find out how long it takes to break down in the environment, both sitting in water, but also actually when you fire a shot, the cup tends to sit on the top of the ground, and it's not, you have to experiment in real time to see how they break down. But
they're all
the
biodegradable.
basic premise is they are biodegradable shot cups that protect your barrel from the shot travelling down it, because steel pellets versus steel barrel, as we were saying earlier, that shot cup is there to protect them. But it also gets the best performance out of the cartridge as well. So, and then it goes on to break down. So it is the best of both worlds.
And the bioammo has another unique attribute, which is that the case itself is biodegradable.
Now this is the fascinating thing about this plastic is the tensile strength of the plastic is strong enough to resist the chamber pressures. Right. If you cut open a Pro Eco wad, that recipe of biodegradable plastic is quite malleable.
Yep.
And it's amazing when I've picked up recovered wads from pigeons that I've shot, and I found the wad on the ground as well. I picked it up. There's very little there's a little bit of discoloration, but it's hardly deformed. Yeah. It's not even split the petals holding the top of
they come back again,
yeah. So it holds up very well in the barrel, but it is quite squashy, quite malleable, and that's good for cushioning steel pellets against barrel walls. I haven't seen these inside yet, but it's the same material as the outside of the case. It's mimicking standard plastic. Which is very exciting. I mean, it is a fantastic material that could offer the solution to not just our issue, but a lot of issues when it comes to plastic packaging that we face.
And I think we've done some work on the recycling of plastic cases, and a lot of them are recycled, especially from Playground. But let's be honest, a lot of them aren't. So we've all wandered around the countryside and seen red and yellow plastic cartridges around the place, and that's properly unacceptable. I think it's also a sort of niche thing for us wildfires. If you're using a semi-auto, especially shooting at dusk, which is spitting out cartridges on the side, you spend a lot of time searching for. You train your dog to retrieve empty cartridge cases. You do that. So I mean that's a really interesting solution. And I mean I think at the moment it's probably worth stressing that we've got loads which are largely, I think, they're loaded probably for modern over and under game guns. These are all game loads, obviously.
They are.
And they're 30, 32 grams. When I've been shooting them out of a side-by-side, side-by-side, and they're not intolerable.
No, they're not.
But would I, if there was a 28 gram number 4s, we were talking about something like that, I think that's the sort of load that I'd settle on for a side-by-side.
This is the conversation that we at Holts have been having with the cartridge manufacturers before the announcement, before February. We've been working on this because we could see that we needed to find answers for our clients. Because the questions were going to come when this was going to arrive, and we knew it was coming. So we didn't sit on our hands. We talked to the gun manufacturers and said, is there the holy grail we're looking for English side-by-side shotguns is acceptable recoil, lethal performance at a given distance, with a compostable wad, with a biodegradable wad. Those are the things that we're looking for. In a 2.5-inch chamber, exactly. And those are the things that we're looking for our clients who's shooting, some of the finest guns ever made. And some of them have paid quite a lot of money for them, so they don't want to just discard them because they're lovely things. The fact is, when you have an ounce load of steel pellets in 6, or let's say an ounce load of steel pellets in 2.75 millimetre and an ounce load of lead pellets in 2.75 millimetre, you have fewer lead pellets, you have more steel pellets. But you don't have the density in the steel to get the penetration and the performance out at range. So you have to go up 2 shot sizes to get that density that mimics that 2.75 number 6 effectively in English shot size. Because of that, you have fewer pellets when you go up shot size. So you need to increase the shot weight. So 28 gram of 6, which is one of the best-selling game cartridges of the last 50 years, will probably need to be replaced by a 30 or a 32 gram 4 in steel. It is wise going up 2 shot sizes. Now, there is an issue here. Again, it's something that I'm quite passionate about. Is I think these shot sizes should be measured in millimeters, because shot size is measured different all over the world. And continental shot sizes measure half a shot size bigger than UK shot sizes. So I'd rather see them all in millimetres, particularly from a safety aspect. When you get to 3.25 millimetre, as we've discussed, you jump up to high performance. That's why I'd like to see it in millimetres. But effectively, up 2 shot sizes is where you want to be. Now, I currently shoot a 30 6 through my hammer guns because I like the pattern, I like the performance, but it's actually a UK 5.5 because it's a continental cartridge. So I've gone up to about a 34 or 36 gram 3 to get the same performance. Yeah. Now that's out of bigger guns for specific purposes.
But critically, we've got here a range of cartridges, any of which you could go out and shoot on if you've got a 2 3/4 inch chamber gun. Any of these you could go out tomorrow, and we're out of season, but you could go, and we could go out and shoot a day on the pheasants, a day on the partridges, do your normal shooting. But critically, in a few months' time, as I understand it, we will also be able to stand here and say we've got cartridges that for the 65 millimetre, exactly. 2.5 inch chamber.
Those products are coming.
I know Ely are bringing one out, and I think by IMR as well in the near future.
So I understand.
And for 20 bores as well, as I understand. Yes, critical. So already in a relatively short space of time, we're seeing we're seeing the market start to fill all those niches.
We are,
which is critical.
But you can understand people's. It came as a bit of a shock to people, and we have to understand our clients who have had to work through this process over the last few months because of a slight lack of information out there about they didn't understand why this decision was being made. It is the right thing to do to move away from lead, to move away from single-use plastics. We have to do that. So, and it's no longer a question of lead in the environment. It's now a question of lead in a food product.
As well.
As I say, we're quite early on in this process, and there was a lot of upset about the fact that there were no products to fill this market, but they were all in the pipeline.
And it's
they are
also
now coming.
It's a classic chicken and egg situation as well, as you know, Simon. The cartridge manufacturers, a lot of them saying, well, there's no demand, so why are we going to introduce a product? And the reason there's no demand is because we hadn't signalled the fact that we were going to move on. And I'm personally, I don't know from the Country Alliance perspective and the other shooting organisations, we've already, in a short time, we already have these options, and we're quite confident that there will be a whole range of other options available by the time we have to make that move. Well, look, that's really interesting. I think we should go and shoot some of these things.
I think we should.